Welcome back to the show. We got a couple of special guests here, but before we get to them, I want to chat about what's in my cup right here, and it's not the whiskey I was just drinking last spot. It is Rocky Mountain Roastery coffee, some of the best coffee in the world, right here in Fraser, Colorado. Buy them. You can get their coffee online, as well as stop in the store and get some food, drink at RockyMountainRoastery.com. So you guys been to Rocky Mountain Roastery?
Have been to
Obviously.
Yes.
It's been a long-term staple in town, so yeah, that's where I beverage myself in the mornings, I guess. So HTA.
With your whiskey.
Yeah, with my whiskey once in a while. Or they had a nice coffee liqueur that was made from vodka, or vodka-based coffee liqueur, so it's a little thinner than Kahlua, so that was pretty rad too. All Colorado made. But I'm hanging out with Meara and Erica with Headwaters Trail Alliance. So what's going on, guys? What is Headwaters Trail Alliance?
It is a nonprofit organization that's countywide up here in Grand County that helps to maintain and build 1,000 miles of trails in Grand County.
1,000 miles of trails. Okay, so the magic number used to be for mountain biking, just because I moved here for mountain biking, was 600 miles of mountain biking trails. So you guys
that's just in Winter Park, Fraser.
Just Winter Park, Fraser. That's this end of the county that you have access to.
Correct.
And so you guys are grossly expanding. I mean, the trail system has gotten better, improved what's there, and expanded as well.
That's correct. We're working on that every summer, have a lot more projects every year than, it's building and building as we work more closely with the Forest Service and the BLM, we're going to be really improving the trails that are all through Winter Park, Fraser, and then also all the way over into Kremlin.
We got a jumper, turn those to the staff of beer, but that's okay.
It's all that whiskey we were drinking.
So didn't mean to distract you. Turner had one too many tasters. But no, that's cool. So how did Headwaters Trail Alliance get formed? Or you are Headwaters Trail Alliance. Am I correct in saying the two of you are
right.
Kind of the brains behind it right now?
The brains behind it. Actually, we are directed by a board of directors that right now currently there are 11.
11 board of directors.
11 board members.
Yes.
They represent all the different towns and municipalities and rec districts.
And are they all volunteer?
Yes.
And are they elected or appointed? Or
elected.
Elected, okay.
Yes. So they really direct what it is that Erica and I do, but we all work very collaboratively. It's a really great process. We meet monthly, determine kind of what the projects are going to look like, and really all of those projects are based upon what's going on with the Forest Service and the BLM and Rocky Mountain National Park. And
what's BLM stand for?
Bureau of Land Management.
Okay, so we got a lot of different
entities,
public land entities around here that we have to work through and with to accomplish stuff.
And then towns own land, the county owns land, or we secure easements through the county, through private property for trails. That's like the Fraser to Granby
so
Trail.
Sometimes you can link these trails by cooperating with people who actually are owning private land too.
We like to cooperate a lot.
Yeah, exactly. And hope they do too, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We like to get all the members, all the players in the sandbox and work well together.
So, I mean, just a lot of, I moved here for mountain biking, but there's a lot of uses for the trails. You can hike, you can mountain bike, you can cross-country ski, snowshoe. There's a lot of different uses.
Fat bike, dirt bike, ATVs, OHVs, all of those things.
So you guys are even operating trails for
motorized
vehicles
and
too?
Non-motorized, right?
Oh, really?
Quiet use trails like equestrian, all those things.
Horseback riding, right, exactly. So
we
you've got
represent
a lot of
all of those entities,
So this is year-round. I mean, there's a lot of different interests involved with this too that you have to try and juggle and make sure everyone's happy and respectful of each other.
Absolutely.
So are all trails open to all?
No.
So
not all, and the federal agencies are moving towards a system of designated uses, meaning that they can designate a trail, a mountain bike trail, or a non-motorized trail, meaning it could be a mechanized, like a mountain bike trail. It could be hiking, running, snowshoeing, cross-country skiing, but they don't want to have motorized uses on it, or vice versa. They'll designate routes for snowmobiles in the winter, and since they're groomed, you have other uses on there, but you need to know that snowmobiles will be also allowed on those trails.
Okay, but there's the signage has gotten better and better and better, which has been a big part of probably what you do as well, is make sure everything's well signed and well informed. Yeah,
every year we go through a signage program. And we work with different granting entities. Colorado State Trails is a big organization that helps us. It has helped us in the last several years with getting updated signage for our trail system. I know that the BLM is working on their signage. Forest Service every year always does new signage, so we're part of that plan.
All right, and obviously if the sign says don't use it, like you said, there's 1,000 miles of trail here. It's not like, poor me, there's no trail for me to ride.
No shortage of trails.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's wonderful maps now, wonderful signage everywhere. So we should all be pretty aware of what we can and can't do. It's not rocket science out there.
We have more trails and a higher density of trails here than most other counties in Colorado. So we are pretty lucky.
So are you guys designing the new trails, or taking Google Earth shot and picking out where you want to stick something, or how does this process work?
Boy, that would be really easy and fun,
Yeah,
wouldn't
right?
it?
Get
I'd
your
like to
marker
have
out.
this lunch loop.
Yeah.
No, there's a long process by which we have to go through in order to get a new trail in the system. First of all, it depends on who owns the land. And then from there, depending on who owns the land, like for instance, if it's a Forest Service trail, it takes from the time that you have the idea of the trail to the time it's built, it can be up to about 3 years, a 3-year process. Because it has to go through NEPA, the National Environmental Protection Act. It has to go through that process to ensure
wow.
that there aren't any.
So we are being sustainable with our use of the trails.
Yes, absolutely. So it just has to be vetted out and assessed to make sure that we're not going to damage anything: watershed, plants, animals, migratory routes. There aren't any, protected species in and around that area.
And we don't need to get on a tangent,
Yeah.
but a lot of locals that aren't maybe as informed, me included at one point, we've lost a lot of trails because a lot of trails were put in kind of bushwhacked in or just built by locals,
Right.
and we loved them or had fun on them, but they were not sustainable environmentally or for other reasons.
Right.
And so they've had to be rerouted or removed. And so a lot of people don't quite understand why that's important. And
Right.
So
It's unsustainable for the environment, for the watershed probably, because it probably had water running through it several times a year,
Yeah.
particularly during the spring, thaw. But then also from a maintenance perspective, it costs us a ton of money every year to try to retread that particular trail as, rocks and everything are running through it, and it gets cupped and then it gets riveted, divoted, and then you can't even
So
pass down.
we could
through
go
it.
deep into that if we
Yes.
really wanted to.
Literally.
So, right. There's yeah. Anyways, and you mentioned the lunch loop. Is that a new winter trail as well?
That is a new winter trail.
All right,
so
so-
that's a new trail behind Safeway that connects to the Fraser River Trail and makes about a 45-minute cross-country ski.
Also known as a lunch loop, right?
As a lunch
Get back
loop.
to work in an hour. So we're going to take a
Yeah.
quick break, and we'll come back and talk about some events you have coming up and fundraising and where HTA gets their money. So Headwaters Trail Lines, hanging out with Meara and Erica. And what's the website?
Headwaterstrails.org.
Headwaterstrails.org. Check them out. We'll take a break and be back in a moment.
Woo!
All right, doing good. Giggles over there. Just
What happened over there?